Hey everybody, thanks for joining us here on YouTube. If you like the video, make sure to mage hand us a thumbs up and subscribe to join our content guild. Also, leave a comment in that comment section down below and let us know if this episode inspired you or if you would have done it differently.
And don't forget to ring that bell so that the algorithm goblins notify you whenever we drop a new episode. You can also attune to us on your podcast platform of choice and check us out across the plains of social media.
Enjoy the episode!
Oh, that's a critical failure!
Rhubarb, you see Drogo just looking off into the...
Sucks.
Like, looking off into the cliffside, and he just like...
Oh, you're so
tumbles
beautiful!
down.
Welcome to Dungeon Busters, your Dungeons & Dragons actual play experiment. I'm Diego, a professional dungeon master and actor.
And I'm Michael, an actor and role-playing addict. Each episode, we summon a special guest who helps us give your game inspiration one encounter at a time. We don't just play D&D,
We put it to the test.
Welcome back to another episode of Dungeon Busters. As always, I'm Diego Salinas, joined in the booth by...
I'm Michael, everybody. And today we are joined by the wonderful...
Kelsey!
Yay.
Hi!
Hi, Kelsey. Welcome to the Dungeon Busters studio. How are you doing today?
I am doing well. Thank you for having me.
So Kelsey, what's your experience with Dungeons & Dragons? What is your relationship to tabletop role-playing?
Well, it all started right after I graduated college and was working at a coffee shop full of nerds. And then I worked at another coffee shop full of nerds. And it's I've never looked back. It's amazing. And then now I am engaged to someone who also is a huge D&D person. So
Oh, wonderful.
kind of by osmosis, but also I love it. It's so fun.
That's so cool. Have you ever played in a game with your partner?
I have played in a game with him. I've played when he's DM'd.
Okay.
And then I played in a one-shot with him.
Oh, cool.
But yeah,
That's wonderful.
it's fun.
And y'all are getting married soon? Very soon. As of the recording of this episode.
Yeah.
Might
Yes.
already be married by the time you hear it.
Yeah. We are getting married in 13 days, but we leave to go get married in 6 days.
Wow.
So
That's
it's-
exciting.
Thank you. I'm really excited. It's
Yes.
coming up.
Wow. Well, there'll probably be a lot of room there in the honeymoon then for some dice rolling and whatnot.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Yeah, for sure.
Which brings us over to our topic for today. Today, we are trying to figure out the best way to throw your players off a cliff.
Yes.
What is the highest place your character has ever fallen from in a game of D&D?
Well, I'm actually playing Drogo Weatherby, and he famously leapt from a giant outcropping in the middle of an ocean. Picture like the mountain in Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Oh.
That's what I had in my head when I pictured. So I jumping off the ledge. Granted, I did have two immovable rods, which I tossed to a friend so they could save themselves, and I had a ring of feather falling, so it became
Nice.
Dexterity saving throw to engage the ring at the right time, so I
Right.
didn't kill myself. So it was an epic dive from a giant cliff into the ocean, which was very fun. And that was actually Drogo. It was in the campaign that I was in with Kelsey. That was our
Yes.
Starbucks
Wonderful.
It
campaign.
was the Starbucks sponsored campaign.
Yes.
Sponsored by Starbucks.
They never did
Unionized.
give us our money,
Yeah.
but
No. They did pay us our wages though.
they did. They
Well,
did.
That's funny. That you should say that you pictured the thing from Close Encounters.
Yeah.
Because when that happened, I pictured weirdly from Legend of Zelda Wind Waker, Dragon Roost Island,
Oh, cool.
but just much bigger. He was
Yeah.
he was falling for a long time.
It was.
I like
it
how
was quite a while.
there's all this just consistent visualization of a triangular peak
Yeah.
jutting out
Yes.
over some unknown. So what do you all know about falling in D&D? You already mentioned a couple of magic items that are good at like preventing someone from falling to their death. The immovable rod being great at just staying firm.
Yeah.
Featherfall is a classic spell.
Yeah, another one I know that's used a lot is Misty Step.
Misty
Because if you
Step.
start to like fall off an edge and you can see 30 feet above you, you can try to save yourself.
Yeah.
I picture that as like the jumping that you can do in Smash Brothers, the brawling.
Like
it's
Super
Smash Bros, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you can always like jump off of nothing.
Oh, yeah.
and, like,
That
get
like
back
a
up.
double
blast.
jump.
Yeah.
So that's how I picture Misty Step working in
That's
that
funny.
scenario. But yeah, and then I know like obviously fall damage compounds pretty quickly.
Yes. Yeah, the official rule is that in D&D 5e, you take 1d6 of damage for every 10 feet that the creature falls.
Nice.
The maximum falling damage gets capped at 20d6.
Yeah.
I feel like that.
See, 20d6, that's the roll, right?
No, yeah. People are like, I'll never need 70d6, and then you fall
Falling damage
from heaven, and you need to do it. But yeah, falling is. I feel like it's something that a lot of it might come up a lot in a game, but it might also be like a thing where like DMs are a little like like they're not sure if they want to follow through on the consequences of like, oh, you're trying to climb up the cliff.
Totally.
Okay, great. Like, you get halfway up, roll an athletics check. Oh, you rolled a 2. You dangle from one arm and you fall into a pile of pillowy snow and you're fine.
Yeah.
Which is like, it's fine. It's great. Like sometimes you don't want to, toss your players off a cliff.
Yeah.
But other times it's a really good way of like reinforcing. I think like fall damage is the best way of reinforcing that like actions have consequences and not like necessarily like
That harsh reality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do feel like every time I've played, there is sort of this like slow motion thing that happens where, every second is so thought out.
Right.
And it's like, cool, I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to do this, and I've got this, I'll get this save, and then this save, and like, you sort of have like 2 or 3 opportunities not to fall.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which is always, it's thrilling, but then there's always that like, okay, but does any...
Like, can I fall?
Yeah, when does
that's
the
one of the
consequence
questions.
come
Exactly.
in? And like, knowing that I think is interesting.
No, I think you're exactly right. It does often feel, and Kelsey, tell me if this has been your experience at all as well, is that like, usually the falls are like, even like, DMs won't even let you fall like 30 feet. Like,
oh, no.
Yeah.
It's because 3d6, I mean, most characters should be able to survive a 30-foot drop.
Yeah. Once
Just-
you're over
Right.
like level 3,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like that's that's still like you're going to be pretty hurt, but you probably will survive it.
Absolutely.
Right. I
But-
feel like the follow through is usually never there. Like they're like, well, we could have this person just like die or get really hurt, but what about the narrative?
Right.
What about like, the game progressing? We
Yeah.
don't want to sit here and be like, okay, do we like all agree to take a rest right now? Do we want to like, who wants to heal? They're like, no, we just want to keep it going.
Yeah.
Right. And I feel like that, like, falling can be such a great narrative to like, you're on the way to go fight the ogre giant or whatever it is. And you have to scale a cliff to get there. And one of your players like falls and like breaks their leg. Like worst possible outcome. Like they are broken leg. And now it's like, we still have to deal with the challenge. But now our fighter has a broken leg and, their movement is
Half
0
or
or
something.
half or
Yeah.
whatever it is.
You don't get that. You rarely get that Brandon Stark moment.
Right.
Where he falls out of the tower.
Exactly.
It's like, no!
And then it's
yeah.
even more surprising when it's like you fall like 70 feet and then you only take 7 points of damage or whatever. It's like, damn, that's fucking badass. Makes your character feel cool as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that you bring that up though, of like adding like non-lethal aspect to it. So it's like, cool, we'll say that you're like, even if you went to maybe 0 HP or something like that, you can be revived, but you have a broken leg.
Yeah.
Or you have like, there's something about your character that is now affected beyond just their HP.
Absolutely. It's a really interesting way to, I think, kind of just like switch things up. Because that adds another thing, right? Because like you were saying, at that point you have to consider like, are we going to use a spell to heal you back up since you're now like at half HP because you took a fall or whatever it is. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like falling is a great way for a DM to show their players, shit happens. Like, you want to try something, you can absolutely try it. But if you're going to fall, like, you're going to fall. And there's dice that go with that. And at the same time, it can really add interesting dimensions to your story.
Totally.
Yeah.
So that is actually the topic that we have here today, is how to throw your players off a cliff. And before we get into the meat of that, I would love to go over down to Dungeon Buster's lab and get to know each of your characters. Kelsey, would you like us to do the honors of going first? Just tell us at least your character name and anything at all you want to tell us about them, about their character sheet or whatever.
Sure. So I have got Rhubarb. He is a little halfling child.
Oh,
So he's really small.
Folks, Kelsey has a picture of Rhubarb on the character sheet. It's a very beautifully drawn,
My fiance actually made that.
Oh,
He
that's adorable.
He photoshopped a character he found online and just it was very cute. I was like, oh.
It looks like a classic Disney ruffian dude. This kid would be at home with the Lost Boys.
Oh yeah. He he was raised by bears.
Sick.
And he's not really afraid of anything. He's not really, he doesn't have many human skills, so to speak, because, he's raised by bears. But he does have a cool, magical wooden sword that he found. He thinks it's magical, and that belief has transformed into, he's basically willed it to be actually magical, which is pretty cool. Yeah, he's a teeny little guy. He is, he's actually a barbarian, and he's really strong for his size and his age, and his bear family has made sure that he grows up strong.
Wonderful.
I love that so much. I'm just picturing toddler rage. Just,
Talk about the terrible twos.
He's like, feel the wrath of my sword! And everyone's like, oh, okay. And it's like, oh, that's a magical sword.
Yeah, he seems like the kid from that TikTok or that meme with the kid with the knife.
What do you have there?
A knife! No! Yeah, that's literally him.
All right.
Yeah,
we
that's
got
Rhubarb.
Yes.
Welcome to the table, Rhubarb. It's a pleasure to have you here. Let's kick it over to Michael. Michael, what you got for us tonight?
Oh, righty. I'm playing Drogo Weatherby. He's a halfling rogue. This was for a very pirate Caribbean themed campaign.
Nice.
So he is very much piratey. He's a rogue mastermind. I built him to be a captain of a ship because that is his deep-rooted dream, is just to be a captain, which is fun because he can take the help action as a bonus action and just call out to people and give them advantage if they're within 30 feet.
Amazing.
It's a fun little, if he's a captain of a ship, I feel like that's perfect.
All right, amazing. Great, so we got Rhubarb and Drogo. Welcome to the table, folks. And can one of you roll a D100 for me, please?
Sure. Do you want me to roll that? Or I was...
Yes, please.
Yes, you got it.
I did not bring a D100.
All right, here we go. 83.
83, all right. So we will say, for the purposes of this adventure, that Rhubarb and Drogo have been traveling together for about 83 days. Okay. And their travels up until recently have brought them to the westernmost peaks of the Ice Crown Mountains, where the snow and ice swirl around them in dizzying effect. And y'all have gotten up to some misadventures here, because on this very moment, your boots skid from deep snow to icy gravel as you manage to stop yourself mere feet from the edges of the rocky cliffside. The roaring blizzard buffets gusts of ice and snow into your eyes. With your backs to the dizzying drop, The only way out is back from whence you came. Backed again amongst the pines of the mountain, the burning mage's keep flickers like a weary candle in the distance. Bursting through the snow, the bird mage of Byzanthrop flies down, blocking your exit from the cliffside. You kill my griffin, burn down my keep, and steal my roke egg. I'm gonna enjoy hearing you scream all the way down to the rocks below. Everyone roll for initiative.
All
All
right.
right.
What is the name of the wizard or warlock?
You know him as the Birdmage of Byzanthrop.
Birdmage of Byzanthrop.
All right, Drogo, what'd you get?
I got a 26.
26, great.
I got that alert feat, so I am always ready.
And I got a 17.
All right, so kicking it off, so just so you get a kind of lay of the land here, you are on that classic triangular rocky outcropping. There are trees and whatnot way down below the cliffside. So Drogo, you get the first go. What would you like to do?
Is our bird mage flying like off the cliff, or is he within like a place where I could attack?
So the bird mage has come like bursting through the snow. Like he is flying. He is hovering like maybe like 25 feet above the area here. You might be able to get a good glimpse at it if you look on the Dungeon Busters TV here that we have.
So I'd have to like charge up the cliff face a bit to try to get to.
He's not up the cliffs. He's just like further out in from the outcropping, right?
Yeah,
so if like here's like the dizzying edge on the far side, that's what you have your backs against, and he is like where the rest of the mountain is.
Excellent. I think I would like to try. Can I tell like is this difficult terrain or
the spot where you are is not? It is icy like rocky gravel, but you are away from the deep snow that the bird mage is flying above.
Excellent. I think I would like to charge our bird mage.
Yeah, go for it.
And I will attack with my dagger.
All right, amazing. Are you throwing the dagger?
No, I will draw the dagger if I have enough movement.
Yeah.
I do have 25 feet of movement, so if I can get there, great. Otherwise,
he is still like 25 feet, like flying above you.
Oh, okay.
So he like even you could get like under him, but not within melee range.
Never mind. Then I will still charge up a little bit, but I will take my short bow out instead.
All right.
And I will draw and unleash an arrow at the bird mage.
All right. Roll to hit on the bird mage.
Okay. There's going to be a 23 to hit.
23 hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
Excellent. That is going to be only 5 points of damage.
All right.
That's the min damage on that. And then with that, I think I'm just gonna bonus action evade. So just kind of prepare for anything that happens. So that means that any attacks, I believe non-magical attacks will be at disadvantage.
Nice. The dodge action?
Yes, dodge. That's what I meant.
Awesome. Beautiful. Great. With that, we're going to go ahead and kick it over to Rhubarb. Rhubarb, you got Drogo to your near side. The cliff faces to your backs and the bird mage before you. What would you like to do?
So, Rhubarb, you know, he's not scared of a lot of things, but he is scared of heights.
Oh.
So he's
It's
gonna.
tough for a little guy.
He doesn't like them. They're extra big to him.
Yeah.
So he's gonna look around and see the cliff, and he's gonna get a little bit scared and start to feel a little woozy, and he's gonna pass out right in the gravel. But you know what? I'm gonna take a bonus action.
Yes.
His eyes snap immediately open, and you know, he doesn't realize he's out cold in his mind, but his body takes action.
Yes.
His eyes snap open,
yes.
and I'm gonna take a bonus action to go into a rage.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
So Rhubarb is now enraged and is going to charge forward and recklessly attack with a javelin and chuck a javelin at our foe.
All right.
Yes. Reckless attack. I love rhubarbs. Rage, that was so epic.
I love a barbarian that isn't afraid to use a javelin.
Yes, that too.
I took, I wanted to take the eagle and bear totem, so oh yeah, also, while I'm raging, I have resistance to all damage except psychic damage.
All right.
Nice.
Hell yeah, resistance.
13 plus 10, that is a 23.
23 hits, go ahead and roll damage.
That is 7 damage.
7 points of damage as the Birdmage takes that hit mid-air as well. The javelin falling to the snow below him, tipped with crimson blood. Great, anything else you'd like to do, Rhubarb?
Rhubarb would like to throw another javelin.
Yeah, go ahead and roll to hit.
Rhubarb rocks.
I know, dude, he's just like cranking these javelin throws out.
Maybe I should have been raised by bears. Alright, that is 14 plus 10, that is a 24.
24 hits, go ahead and roll damage.
That is 14 points of damage.
Woo! Okay, yeah. Birdmage is looking a little rough.
He's just gonna let out a tiny child scream and beat his chest and go,
Amazing. A call from the blizzard winds kind of grabs your ear, and you see a winged beast with the horns of a deer and wings with like a 10-foot wingspan fly down, swoop down, and fly right up next to you, Rhubarb. He's gonna try and get you with his gore attack.
Oh no.
With an 11 to hit.
Aww.
That's gonna miss on your 15 armor class, and the second attack, 7 with his talons, is also gonna miss. With his flyby feature, he is gonna then go and fly off without provoking an opportunity attack. This Peryton is flying over the cliff face here. With that, we'll go ahead and turn it over to the Birdmage, who is going to, you see him kind of like falter down, and his flying seems to leave him as his boots touch the snow. But the winds begin to swirl around him as well as he casts a spell forth. And right betwixt the two of you, you see an air elemental begin to take shape and form in the snow here. So this elemental has its own turns, and it'll obey any commands that the Birdmage gives unto him. So with that, the Birdmage is going to use the rest of his movement to dash behind this rock and amongst these trees, and is broken his line of sight with the pair of you.
Okay.
With that, would then go and pass it down to this next Peryton, who is going to fly down, try to get Rhubarb as well with a gore attack. 9 to hit, damn it. Talons, a 15, which meets and beats your armor class, as you take, let's see here, 11 points of piercing damage as he comes down at you with his talons before flying off, and also kind of like just beating his wings above the, what do you call the area on the other side of a cliff that's not the cliff? The air? Yeah, I guess he's just like, yeah, he's like flying, he's like not on the cliff, he's got just like the fall below him. Yeah. As we go back to the top of the order, Drogo, and you hear, before you get started, you hear more wings rising up, almost like a sultry song coming from the cliffside, and you see 3 harpies come into view.
Oh,
no.
Drogo, it is now your turn. What would you like to do?
Okay. I would like, so seeing our bird wizard dash into the trees, I'm going to try to cut him off. I'm going to take bonus action hide.
Nice.
And try to like sort of catch him off guard with a short bow shot on the other side of the trees and the rock.
Great, so you're trying to leave away from the elemental and try to find a hiding spot?
Yeah, I was thinking more the other direction.
Yeah, to this area?
Yeah, so I can get a shot on our buddy right there.
Yeah.
Just even that rock in the middle right there. Just like turn the corner, hidden, and shoot.
Yeah, alright. Yeah, go ahead and roll your stealth check, please.
Yeah, stealth check is going to be...
And does a 22 hit your armor class?
22 does hit my armor class.
Alright, you'll take 10 points of bludgeoning damage from the air elemental. since you left his melee range.
Okay. Great. My stealth was 22.
Great, 22. Yeah, you're hitting then.
Cool. And then I will take a short bow attack at our wizard.
All right, go ahead and roll to hit.
Come on. Oh, 15.
15 hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
Yes. And since I'm hitting, I get that sneak attack. That is why I did that. So that is going to be 6 plus sneak attack is going to be 25 points of damage.
Yeah. Oh gosh, the Birdmage is not looking good in the slightest.
Okay. Crouch down, I take my shot, release it at the Birdmage.
God damn it. All right.
And then I'm there now, so now I'm revealed.
All right, with that, we'll go to the Air Elemental, who is going to use his action to conjure up a whirlwind as he kind of settles around you, Rhubarb. Can you please make a strength saving throw?
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh, that is
Oh, but you're a halfling.
Oh, right.
Yeah, you get to reroll.
So
reroll
you're lucky.
ones.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
So, for context, for those listening, my first roll was a 1. But I'm lucky, so my second roll was a 19.
Nice.
Yes. That is lucky.
It's
The definition of the lucky feat right there.
Literally.
You will only take 7 points of bludgeoning damage
Sweet.
as the winds buffet around you. With that, we're going to go ahead and kick it over to Rhubarb with a bunch of baddies on deck.
So, would the air elemental be susceptible to magical damage?
You can make an Arcana check and see what
Okay.
you know.
He does not know a lot, but you know what? I'm gonna. He knows negative a lot. So, but you know what? I'm gonna try it out. What does Rhubarb know? Okay, 16 minus 1. That is 15.
15, yeah. This is a being conjured of magic, and it is essentially wind given life.
Mm-hmm.
So it seems unlikely that anything non-magical would be effective against it, right? Like, you can't imagine that a punch would do much to this living storm around you.
Sweet. So, Rhubarb's gonna squint through the wind around him and say,
Hey, you know what? This air is really sparkly. And my sword, when I swing it, it also gets really sparkly. So maybe I can hurt this thing.
Yeah!
he's just gonna take a swing.
Roll to hit.
Oh, that is 30.
That's a nat 20.
Yeah, that is not 20!
Oh my gosh, yeah, 30 hits.
Sweet.
23 points of this magical damage.
It is.
All right, yeah. You can
Nice.
see that your sword manages to catch on the form of the wind here, and you tear off like a bit of it, like a bit of the corporal wind that you can see. Great. Anything else with your turn, Rhubarb?
Rhubarb is going to be emboldened by the fact that worked, and is gonna try to swing again.
Yeah, roll to hit.
Yes.
All right, that's an 18. That's a 28.
28 hits.
All right, that's 19.
19. Amazing.
Menace
Takes
of a
some
child.
big chunk.
Yeah, dude, you're taking some
He's a-
chunks out of this thing. As another Peryton is going to come and swoop down onto Rhubarb here with an 18 and a 14 to hit, connecting with the 18 for... that is going to be 22 points of damage. Getting the dive attack extra damage. The Peryton is able to be quite successful with
Is
that
that
attack.
half to 11 with
It is.
It would be, yeah.
with your rage?
And the second Peryton is going to come down for his dive attack with a gore attack that misses and a talon attack that also misses as the Peryton comes beating its wings off the other side over here. The Birdmage, not looking good at all, is going to call forth on his magic to try and help him out here. Yeah, it's gonna be everyone in this circle right here. A big sphere of ice and storm swirls around you, encapsulating Rhubarb and the air elemental Drogo, as well as the Birdmage himself. Can all of you please make a dexterity saving throw?
Oh boy.
Here we go.
This will include the Birdmage himself.
Oh, that is a 12.
12.
That is.
I have a +8, but it's still only a 12.
That is a 21.
21,
Nice.
amazing. All right, so you are going to take, Michael, you are going to take, oh my god, dude. You're going to take 24 points of damage.
Ooh, oh, I'm feeling rough.
The Birdmage is going to take half of that. He's going to only take 12, and he's looking like he kind of regretted what he did. And Rhubarb, you will also only be taking 12.
Okay.
The air elemental is gonna make that dex save as well. 21 is the air elemental is only gonna take 12 points of damage as well.
Okay.
Fucking amazing. All right, with that we go now to the harpies, who will finally come and crested the side of this cliff. And for its action, this harpy at the apex, we're gonna call her Apex Harpy, is gonna sing a magical melody. Can both of you make a wisdom saving throw?
Oh no.
Oh, okay. That's a 21 for me.
I got a 20 plus that's a 21 for me.
Nat 20?
I'm learning.
Yeah, great. The harpy's song falls on deaf ears as it goes and uses the rest of its movement to kind of circle around the skirting through where the ice storm had once been. It has now dissipated. With that, we'll go to the next harpy, and this one is also going to start with a claw attack coming at you, Rhubarb, with, let's see, it's going to make one attack with its claws, a 9 that's going to miss, and one with its club, a 19 that connects for 2 points of bludgeoning damage. And you got resistance to that, so remember to take half off. Then we got Peryton number 2 out here trying to make his thing work. He's gonna come down on you, Drogo, with a gore attack. An 11.
11 is not.
What's
good.
your armor class?
16.
16. Yeah, both of those attacks miss, and the Peryton is going to fly off with its flyby feature, so it doesn't provoke opportunity attacks.
Okay.
We do have this other harpy here who's going to come up behind you, Drogo, coming at you with claws and club.
Oh,
Please
yeah.
take 11 points of slashing damage from the claws.
Oh no.
And its club attack is going to miss. With that, we're going to go back to the top of the order. Drogo, then the air elemental, Rhubarb, and then all the baddies.
Awesome. Drogo is pretty beat up after that last one. Cold and cut up. So I would like to bonus action hide again. For this, because like I'm already in the same place, I'm picturing like the trees around us, like trying to run in one direction and like fake out as I go behind a tree, like stop and turn around and shoot. So
it's like a cluster of like 4 trees, so not a lot of operating room, but if you can roll high enough, it'll work. Yeah.
Just enough to like more of a juke than a hide, but just so I can get like a shot off where they're not.
Yeah, go ahead
suspecting.
and roll to hide.
Okay, this is gonna be a 24.
24, amazing. Yeah, and as you run around, you are going to take an opportunity attack from the harpy.
Okay.
So he's going to come at you with a claw attack.
Oh no!
Please
This might
take 13 points of slashing damage.
Oh no.
I am currently at 1 HP.
No.
Yes. Cool. I would like to shoot at our person, at our mage.
Amazing. Yeah, go ahead and roll to hit with all your beautiful sneak attack bonuses.
Okay, it's gonna be short bow is gonna be 17 to hit,
17 hits.
15 points of piercing damage.
You Interesting.
What does
As
that
he
mean?
dies.
Yeah.
With that, you also the winds that have enveloped you, Rhubarb, from the air elemental begin to slowly dissipate as well, and it is also dead since it is conjured by the Birdmage. It cannot stand any longer.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Yeah.
Drogo reels back, takes this wild shot as it pierces through the trees and the brush, and then it's like, oh my god.
Amazing. With that being said, Drogo, you are the furthest away from the cliff. The kind of expanse is clear for you to make a dash away from the precarious edge. Anything else you'd like to do with your turn?
I think I'm just gonna try to move away from the harpy with any movement I might have left.
Oh, yeah. I think you probably have like...
I have 25 feet, so I imagine I have maybe 10 or 15 feet left.
with running around it would actually probably have what is it?
Spell most of it.
Yeah, you probably use
Okay.
most of your movement
No
get
worries.
into the hiding position.
Then I will, I think I'm just gonna hope that I don't get hit too hard.
Yeah, and you do have 25 feet between you and the harpy that
Okay.
has been critting on you, so you're
Cool.
Nice.
the critical harpy. Wonderful. With that, we go over to Rhubarb. Rhubarb, you got a harpy to your left, the cliffside, straight ahead of you. There's 2 more harpies flying around and 2 Perytons in the area here. Drogo is now furthest from you, furthest from the cliff's edge. What would you like to do?
Are they within melee range?
There is 1 harpy within melee range.
Okay. You know, Rhubarb's a little worried. He saw Drogo go behind this rock and not come back out. So he's a little like, oh no, Drogo, might I be alone? So he's gonna get extra mad, reckless attack against the harpy within melee range.
Nice. Go ahead and roll to hit.
You got the
Oh wait.
big bonus.
Oh yeah, I do have a big bonus. That is an 18.
18 hits, yeah.
Okay. That is 16 points of damage.
All right, that harpy, it took a big ol' hit to the gut. Still standing, still looking good. Anything else you'd like to do, Rhubarb?
Rhubarb is super mad. He thinks Drogo is dead, probably. So he's gonna hit the harpy again. This toddler rage.
Beautiful. Drogo may very well die in the next round.
I know, I'm scared. That is a 24 to hit.
All right, that hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
14 points of damage.
14 points of damage. This harpy takes another hit. Its wings are faltering slightly, but it is still old and strong.
He's mad. He's gonna scream at the bird. Why'd you die, you stupid chicken? That's it.
Beautiful. With that, the Perytons, one of them is going to come over at you, Rhubarb, coming at you with another gore, another talon, both of which miss. God damn it, these birds suck.
I'm just really small.
And he's going to fly off, so he's hovering over the cliff's edge. With that, we're going to go ahead and pass it over to Harpy over here, who is going to begin singing its own alluring melody. Can both of you please make a wisdom saving throw?
Oh no.
Oh, that's an 8 for Drogo.
That's a 14.
All right. Drogo, you are charmed.
All right.
Until this song ends. So the harpy is gonna continue singing its song as long as it can. You are considered incapacitated and are ignoring the songs of the other harpy. You are drawn to this beta harpy over here.
Okay.
If the charm target is more than 5 feet away from the harpy, the target must move on its turn towards the harpy by the most direct route.
Okay.
It doesn't avoid opportunity attacks, but before moving into damaging terrain, such as lava or a pit, and whenever it takes damage from a source other than the harpy, a target can repeat the saving throw. You can also repeat the saving throw at the end of your turns, and if you successfully beat it, then the effect ends.
Okay.
But for all intents and purposes, right now you are incapacitated, which means that you can't take actions or reactions.
All right.
You are also going to be moving closer to Harpy number 6, who is down to like kind of the left side of the cliff face here.
Okay.
Great. With that, we're gonna go ahead and pass it over to the next harpy, who is going to come down and try to finish what it started with Rhubarb here. Gonna go for a claw attack. That's gonna miss, and a club attack that is gonna just barely connect with a 15 to hit. Please take 4 points of bludgeoning damage from this harpy. And since he sees that you're still looking good, this harpy is just gonna make a kind of a dash off the cliff face over here to try and get some distance here. Please feel free to take an opportunity attack if you would like.
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead and roll to hit.
Rhubar's a mad little child. Oh, that is 14?
14 hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
Oh, nice.
19.
19, amazing. And what, you hit this with your magical wind sword?
Yes. I did.
Amazing, yeah. You slap this harpy across the face with the sword, and it just like falls off the cliff face. It does not look like its wings were moving from its fall. With that, we'll pass it over to the other Peryton, who is going to come and try to get some damage here on Drogo with a gore attack for a 15 to hit.
That does not meet my armor class.
And a talon attack with an 11 to hit.
That does not meet my armor class.
And we go now to...
Dazed walking. Dodge.
Yeah, for real, right? This next harpy is going to come towards you. Let me see. Here, Rhubarb, can you please make a wisdom saving throw?
12.
A 12. The song is so alluring, but...
No!
You are just able to overcome its melodic harmonies as this harpy is kind of like flying around you, frustrated that its song didn't take hold. It's gonna perch itself on a large boulder at the tip of the cliff. You go back to the top of the order. Drogo, it's you. You got a Peryton next to you, beating its wings, but you are compelled to move towards harpy number 6 here at the bottom left corner.
Yeah, I think Drogo, sort of coming out of this like intense combative like focus, is sort of like is dazed by this harpy. Is like, buddy, oh, you're so beautiful, and just start walking in the direction of the harpy.
How much movement do you have?
I'll use all of it. 25 feet.
25 feet, yeah, that's putting you within 10 feet of this harpy here.
Alright.
Great, you can't take actions or reactions, so I think that's your turn, Drogo.
That's it.
Alright, with
I
that...
just hold the blood seeping out of my open wound.
Right, yeah, you have like 1 HP, like bleeding out onto the snow.
So beautiful. Oh, I feel like shite.
Alright,
The moral artery.
Yeah.
Rhubarb, what would you like to do?
Can I see what's happening with the harpy?
You can see that Drogo is almost in a daze, bleeding out, walking towards this creature.
Okay. Rhubarb, I think, sees Drogo and is like,
He's still alive!
and runs over, sees what's happening with the harpy, and tries to slap the harpy with the sword.
Yeah, roll to hit.
13.
13 hits, go ahead and roll damage.
13.
13 points of damage, beautiful. Alright, anything else? Get another attack this turn if you'd like to use it.
I mean, Rhubarb's not about to lose the only non-bear halfling friend he's ever had. He's like a weird, questionable father to him.
No, I like that you raised my bears. I think it's cool.
Thanks, mister.
Alright, so he's gonna swing again. 13?
13 hits.
That is 16 points of damage.
16 points of damage. This harpy is not looking too good here.
We all.
Alright, the Perytons are gonna make their move as they dive down on you, Rhubarb. Gore attack that misses. A talon attack that connects for, let's see here, you get a total of 10 points of piercing damage here, my friend.
Alright.
As this Peryton then like kind of flies away a little bit, gets some distance between itself and you. Passing it over to harpy number 6, who is going to use its action to disengage, and then is just going to sit there hovering 15 feet beyond the cliff face.
Yes.
Rude.
And with that, it's going to go now to this other Peryton who's going to come for a dive attack on you, Rhubarb. A Gore, an 8 to hit. A Talon, 21 to hit. Thank God. Please take an additional 16 points of piercing damage as the creature flies off with its flyby feature, not provoking any opportunity attacks. Harpy number, the last Harpy over here who's been perched on the boulder, frustrated that nothing's connecting, is going to try and make up for it. He's going to try and get some hits in on you, Rhubarb, flying down and like just kind of hovering around you. You got a claw attack coming in with a 15 to hit. Please take 4 points of slashing damage. A club attack with a 4 to hit that you just like catch in your like little toddler hand.
Tiny hand, tiny pudgy hand.
As we go now to Drogo, how many feet of movement do you have?
I have 25 feet of movement.
All right. Actually no, you get to make the saving throw again as you're at the cliff's edge.
Is that my cliff's edge? This is do I go over or not?
Yes. Please make a wisdom saving throw.
This is brutal.
Here we go. Oh, that's a critical failure!
Rhubarb, you see Drogo just looking off into the
This sucks.
like looking off into the cliffside, and he just like
Oh, you're so
tumbles
beautiful.
down. I'm gonna roll 7d6 now.
Oh, you don't even need to. I mean, you can. I guess this is if I'm totally dead.
Yeah. So you take 28 points of falling damage.
Okay.
Which I don't think is
fully dead.
Yeah, so you still get death saves down at the bottom below.
Okay.
Great. But Rhubarb, all you saw was Drogo walk himself off a cliff. We go now to you. I guess Drogo, you also get to. No, you're unconscious, so yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't take my turns until
Perfect.
my death saves till next round.
Rhubarb, give it to us. What would you like to do? You have 1, 2, 3, 4 winged creatures around you here.
Listen.
2 Perytons, 2 Harpies.
Hell hath no fury like a stubborn bear-raised toddler. So you know what? He's just gonna keep snapping things.
Yeah.
Yes.
Reckless attack on the harpy, because that's, I mean,
Yeah.
he may be young, but he knows harpy make Drogo go off cliff. So
Cause and effect.
he's learning it. Object permanence.
Yes.
He has that, so he knows that Drogo still exists.
Exactly.
Which
Yes.
is good. So yes, I'm going to reckless attack at this harpy.
Yeah, and you got 1 Harpy that's within melee range, so you can concentrate your attacks on those. Not one if you like.
Yes. I will
Great.
do
Roll to
that.
hit.
All right, that is a 28.
28 to hit. Damn. Yeah, that hits.
He's a little tank. I can't do that. That is 17 points of damage.
17 points of damage. Great. Yeah, this Harpy takes a beat from its from the wooden sword. Would you like to make your second attack?
Yes.
Go for it. Roll to hit.
Okay, that is a 27.
27 hits. Go ahead and give me that damn damage.
Okay, that is 19.
19. All right. Damn. This one's not looking too good either. All right. With that, we're gonna go now to this Peryton, who's gonna come in another dive attack in your way, trying to gore you with an 8. Talons with a 22. Those connect. Please take 18 points of piercing damage. As this Peryton flies by you, hits you with its talons, and flies off once more. Great, wonderful. With that, we're gonna go to Harpy number 6. You are in the snowbanks, Drogo, down 70 feet below. This Harpy is going to dash, so it's gonna get 40 feet of movement as it just kind of like dive bombs to you and lands with its Harpy claws like on your haunches.
Oh, no.
It is searching for its club at its hip. But it did use its action already, so we're going to go ahead and pass over to this second Peryton, who's going to make a flyby attack on Rhubarb over here. Coming down at you, Rhubarb, with a gore attack. 24 to hit. Please take 9 points of piercing damage. Another Talon attack
Oh no.
As you take 15 plus 20, that'll be 35 points of piercing damage.
For the first time, Rhubarb is starting to not look so good.
Oh no.
And the harpy that's next to you is just gonna try and lay into you. He, no self-preservation at this point. Actually, no. This harpy is smart enough to know that it's gonna want an easy meal, so it's gonna fuck out of here with Rhubarb. Feel free to take an opportunity attack as it also goes over the, makes a motion to fly over the cliff's edge. Rhubarb, please take your opportunity attack.
Oh yeah, Rhubarb's pissed. So he's gonna throw a javelin at it.
Yeah, roll to hit.
That is 18.
18, go ahead and roll damage.
That is 12.
Amazing. Yeah, just as it was about to leave your range, you just gore it in the stomach with your javelin, still held firmly in your hands. And yeah, that is, it's dead. So you got one harpy dead. Drogo passed out at the bottom of the cliff with a harpy on top of him and 2 Perytons up top here that have been giving you trouble, Rhubarb. We go now to the top of the order. Drogo, can you please roll your first death saving throw?
Yeah, let's roll this thing. Come on, nat 20!
No, you bastard!
Yes!
Bastard! I'm angry, I'm pissed.
Does that mean, that means 2 successes, right?
Yeah, actually no, nat 20? I can't remember. No, I think it's, you're back up.
Oh, am I? I'm
Yeah,
back up with 1.
20 death save.
I always thought I thought it was 2, it counts as 2.
Yeah, no, you get back up. It's the nat 1 that counts as 2
Oh,
failures.
okay.
Yeah, if you roll a 20 on the d20, you regain 1 hit point, rules as written. So
Ooh.
you are back up and conscious.
I got 1 hit point, yeah!
Yeah. That would be your turn to like kind of wake
Yeah,
up.
I've got nothing else.
So you're kind of coming to a bloody mess at the base of this cliff. As you got a harpy plunging its club in its hand. We go now to Rhubarb,
I'm
back on the
picturing
cliff top.
Gandalf when he comes back to life.
Yeah.
The radioactive by Imagine Dragons.
Yes. Exactly.
Hits all of those.
Alright, Rhubarb, what you got? You have no birds within melee range of you.
Okay. How close is the closest bird?
It is, let's see here, 20 feet as the crow flies.
Ha ha ha.
Or the harpy.
Oh,
Yes.
So, Rhubarb is going to rush at the closest one.
Mm-hmm.
And, and he's just going to keep smacking things with his sword.
Amazing.
Again, reckless attack.
This one would not be within your melee range since
Oh,
it
gosh,
is kind
sorry.
of like flying like 20 feet above the air.
Right, okay, sorry.
But you can get like under it, and if you had javelins or another, you could even just try to throw snowballs at it, improvise attack.
I have 1 javelin left. You know what? I'm just throwing it.
All right, roll to hit.
Come on, don't let me waste my last javelin.
I do not think these Perytons have taken any damage.
No, lucky. You're
Oh,
lucky.
yeah. I'm lucky, and I'm also doing my close attack. Oh, again, another 1 to 19. What is going on with these dice? Kieran packed me. He was right about these dice. He was right about them. All right, so
Yeah, that's gonna hit. Go ahead and roll damage.
that is. Dang, that is 15 points of damage.
All right, amazing. Yeah, your javelin's sticking out of the Peryton. There's also like your other javelins. I know at least 1 or 2 other javelins are in the snow in this general area, so you could absolutely like
I can retrieve them.
yeah retrieve them
Wow,
and pick them
thank you.
up. Beautiful. You get another attack, Rhubarb. What would you like to do?
I don't think I'm not going to take that attack, but can I do movement on a bonus action?
You can still move.
Okay.
You haven't used all your movement, I don't think.
No, I don't think so either.
Yeah, you should still have like, what's your max speed? 35?
35.
Yeah, you have like 20 feet of movement left.
All right, Rhubarb's gonna make a mad dash to try and pick up at least one of the javelins.
Absolutely, yeah. You run back through the snow and pick one up as you come to the end of your movement.
Sweet.
So yeah, you are now one javelin up.
Haha.
All right, anything else?
That's good.
All right, with that, we're gonna go to the Perytons. Another flyby attack coming at you with a gore. 15 to hit.
Yeah.
Please take 20 points of damage. And a talon attack with a 12 to hit that is not gonna connect. We go now to Harpy at the base of the cliff with Drogo. You are prone, and it is gonna make a melee attack on you with its claws.
Yes. With prone, is that its advantage, or is it just it automatically hits?
It's got advantage. It would automatically hit if you were dead,
Oh,
or
okay.
if you were unconscious.
Okay.
So with advantage, 13.
Misses.
Oh my gosh! As you're able to keep its claws from your face, it is gonna come back around with a club attack and see if that connects with a 22 to hit.
That does hit.
Please take 5 points of bludgeoning damage.
Oh, okay, I'm down again.
As he just clubs you in the temple and knocks you out once more. All right, we go now to the second Peryton, who is going to come for its dive attack with a gore on Rhubarb, 16. Please take 18 points of piercing damage, and talons, which are gonna miss.
Okay. Man, Rhubarb's a tank, but this is a lot.
Yeah, you're getting they're like flanking you. They got their thing, and like one zooms in, zooms out, the other one comes in from the other side. These birds know what they're doing. We go back to the top of the order. Drogo, can you please make your first death saving throw?
Yes, I can. Oh boy. Oh,
I swear to
boy.
God, if you roll another 20, I'm going to quit this podcast.
Oh, come on. 18.
18. All right, so you are one success, 0 failures. Can you tell us a memory from Drogo's life that kind of flashes by his eyes in this moment?
Drogo flashes back to the moment that he left his family to become a sailor, to make some good money that he could send back to them. The very beginning of what would become a long pirate adventure.
Yes, humble beginnings.
Waiting to his folks as they disappear beyond the sunset.
Beautiful. With that, we'll go ahead and pass it over to Rhubarb. Rhubarb, you got 1 javelin, 2 Perytons. What are you going to do?
He's just gonna keep at it. I'm just gonna...
You could try to hold your action and say like you won't do your attack until another bird comes within melee range. So that way you don't have to keep chasing them down or throwing them if you're trying to keep the javelin in your hand. Same thing with your wooden sword.
Right.
Depending on how you want to use the hold action.
You know, he does have little tiny toddler legs. And he was raised by bears, not by gazelles. He's getting a little tired, so I think I am going to hold my action.
Great. And you're just gonna unleash an attack on whichever one of these comes within melee range next?
Yep.
Awesome.
More wooden sword smacking. That's
Beautiful.
what he does best.
All right, as Rhubarb kind of digs in his feet into the snowy gravel, clenches the wooden sword in his tiny little toddler hands, and readies himself for the next onslaught of Perytons. And he's not gonna have to wait long because another one's coming out here with a dive attack, flying off on that. Let's see here. I guess you would get your attack off in this moment. So go ahead and roll to hit.
That's it.
Yeah, go ahead and give me critical damage for that. I know, right?
know. This yellow dice, I swear. I'm gonna let Kieran know it's a good one. So
Oh
that's
shoot.
20, but that's 29.
Oops. All right, the bird is still standing long enough to land its talon attack on you, which is going to hit you for 19 points of piercing damage.
Ooh.
This Peryton is not looking too good, though, I will say.
Here's Rhubarb.
As we go now to Drogo's harpy down below.
Oh no.
So you are unconscious at this point, yeah. So he's gonna take a claw attack, which is gonna hit.
Does that mean it's a failure?
It's gonna count as a critical hit since you are unconscious, which is gonna count as 2 failures.
Oh no! So I needed that 20 to get up. I guess.
So so you immediately pick up two failures as the harpy brings its club down onto your head once more.
Okay.
And it does get a second attack with its multi-attack.
Oh no!
With its claws,
Here
it's
it
gonna
goes.
start tearing into the flesh around your throat.
No!
Connecting for another 2 critical hits, another 2 failures.
That's it. I'm dead.
And what is the last memory that flits through Drogo's mind as he shuffles off this mortal coil?
Drogo remembers back to seeing this little halfling boy with blonde hair crawling out of the woods across their path on all 4s, sniffing the ground, thinking, man, that kid probably could use a buddy.
Oh, that's so sad.
Oh my gosh. And with the last tender thoughts of your meeting with Rhubarb, the light in your eyes darkens, and you are nothing but harpy food at this point.
Woo!
Great. With that, it is going to now be the Perytons' turn, and it is going to keep on doing what it's doing with a flyby dive attack. We have a gore attack for a 23 to hit. Rhubarb, please take 9 points of damage from that. A talon attack with a 22 to hit. Rhubarb, please take 25 points of piercing damage from that.
Oh no!
Jeez. Okay.
How is Rhubarb looking right now? He has absorbed a lot of damage at this point.
Yeah, Rhubarb's not doing well. We went from 141 hit points to 17.5.
Jesus.
It's not looking good. But you know what? Rhubarb's not gonna give up. Rhubarb is.
You got it, Rhubarb.
Rhubarb also does not have a choice. Am I within melee range of anyone?
No, you are not. The Perytons are probably about 25 feet on either side of you, and then again another 20 feet above the ground.
Okay.
So you can hold your action again?
Yeah.
You can try to hold your action again, yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna hold action again.
Alright.
All you can do.
As Peryton number 4, this one is the worst looking of the pair. He's gonna come for another flyby dive attack with a 21 to hit on its gore attack for 16 points of piercing damage. And a talon attack that misses. Please take your health action attacks now.
Okay, this is so big. That is a 23 to hit.
Nice.
Nice.
That is 15 points of damage.
Amazing. You managed to cut that one down with your first attack.
And you're holding both your attacks, right?
Yes. Sorry, I forgot to mention
No
that.
worries. Great, yeah, so that'll be that first one. Since this one's dead, it did its damage and died. With that, we go now to the next. The harpy down below, he is, for all intents and purposes, she is out of the fight. She is just eating some sweet Drogo.
Juicy hobbit. Oh no.
With that, we'll go to the final Peryton, who's going to come in for his flyby dive attack. Let's see, a gore with 23 and a talon with 21. So you will be taking 14 plus 11 plus 5. So 14 plus 16, that puts us up what?
0.
No!
Yeah, 14 plus 16 was that 30?
Yeah.
Yeah. 30 points of damage. Are you unconscious?
I am unconscious.
All right.
Unconscious?
And with that, I guess it would yeah, you go down in the hail of this bird, and it will go then to the next turn, which will Rhubarb. Make your first death saving throw, please.
All right. No, I have literally never had to make a death saving throw before.
Oh, congrats.
Oh, thank you.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you. Okay, so what do I do?
So you roll a d20. If you get a 10 or higher, that's a success. If you get anything lower than that, it's a failure.
Okay.
Nat 20, like we saw with Michael, brings you back up with 1 HP.
Okay.
Nat 1 counts as 2 failures.
Okay.
You have to get 3 successes before you accumulate 3 failures, and then if you get 3 successes, non-Nat 20s, you'll just be at a stable, like, 0 HP. Like, you won't be actively dying, but you're not gonna come back to life. Or, like, you're not gonna, like, wake up for another 1d4 hours.
Sure. Okay. Oh boy. It's a 7.
7. All right, so you got 1 failure, 0 successes. What is a memory that flits through Rhubarb's head as he balances on the brink of life and death?
It is his first memory of opening his eyes and seeing this big mama bear with kind eyes sniffing him. And he remembers that it tickled.
Oh, adorable. The tickling that Rhubarb feels now is
Adorable.
the careful prodding of the Peryton.
No!
Kind of like feeling out his mushy skull.
Mushy skull!
Adorable,
Not his
he says,
fontanelle.
before he kills a child.
Yeah, right?
Yo, you brought the kid in here.
I know, I did.
Great. With that, we'll go to the Peryton, who is going to pick Rhubarb up in its talons and begin to fly up in the air, flying him over the cliff face and dropping him 70 feet down below the cliffside.
Oh no.
So let's go ahead and roll 7d6,
Oh, man.
which is going to count as critical damage, so that is going to count as 2 failures. So Rhubarb is dead.
No!
His crumpled corpse lands in the snow not far from that of his mentor, Drogo, mentor and father figure, as the harpies and the surviving Peryton feast upon their kill. The Birdmage of Byzanthrop is dead. The roke egg that the pair of you had stolen lies shattered with Drogo in his equipment. And now your corpses are added to the other bones that have amassed at the base of this giant cliff. And that is where we'll end our adventure for today. Damn, that was the first.
Bleak.
That was the
pretty
first
intense.
TPK we've done in Dungeon Busters.
Yeah.
So, congratulations.
Oh,
a high
thanks.
honor.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. I mean, we knew when we started this, we're like, it is kind of fun because, like, it's not like you're going to play this character for, at least in our campaign, for years and years and years. So TPK is like,
Right.
okay, cool. I'm still going to play this character in my actual campaign.
Right.
Right.
Totally.
There's some fun in that death. It's fun to have those. I like your memories with the failures. I think that's a fun.
That's a little homebrew thing that I started doing that I found really like, because it feels like sometimes like when characters are like dying, it's just kind of like roll your d20 and success, failure, and then next until something happens.
Right.
So I don't know. It's like a good way to kind of get a little role playing in death, and at the same time, it's like you're kind of like if you're saying like, okay, great, if this is the last moment that this character is going to be like alive, or we're going to hear his thoughts or opinions, like what are the memories you're going to be highlighting?
Yeah, I feel like you could do it
Totally.
with successes too. And
Oh,
like,
absolutely.
Ooh,
Y'all just
that'd
didn't
be
succeed.
cool.
Or
already.
there's like a reason for your character still to live, almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To give them
that's
like
so
motivation
cool.
and like, why do they keep on going?
Right.
Kind of thing.
I
But I
love
really
that.
like
That's
that.
neat. Yeah.
Well, this is the part of the podcast where we transition out of the actual play lab and kind of just try to unpack what we experienced here today. The main question, just to reiterate, that we're trying to answer is how to throw your players off a cliff. And within that is couched, like, kind of how does that help your game? Did this encounter succeed in bringing some interesting, concepts to that someone could bring to their table? So just open it up to y'all. What do y'all think? Was this an effective way to throw your players off a cliff?
I thought it was a blast. I loved the harpy enchanting, charmed aspect of it. And I think that could work well. Like, it immediately makes me think of like an earth ship or like an airship. People like flying around and being like harpied off the edge to their death.
That's really cool.
That's cool as hell.
So I feel like it immediately makes me think of other ways to do it. I think what is like fun about it is it's such like a stark realization once you see it happen of like, oh, if I get charmed, like I can immediately get pulled off the edge. And it's that sort of Brandon Stark moment of oh shit.
Yeah.
So I really liked that. I thought that was really fun.
Yeah. Kelsey, opening thoughts?
Yeah, I was gonna say that. I thought I mean, there's always the danger of like being near a cliff or a high place of like someone falling off, but like the harpies like that like intensified that danger, and it made it like so that you could be in a situation where otherwise that wouldn't have been a problem, but now you have to worry about, oh, I can't do anything about this. This just might happen unless like something happens to intervene. And also, I will say I specifically made Rhubarb to be super tanky because I was like, okay, cliffs, in case I fall, or if something happens where there's like part of the fight is going on at the bottom of the cliff and part is going, like, how much could I, if I still have a lot of health left, because Rhubarb has had, may he rest in peace, pour one out. Pour out one juice box.
Pour out your Capri Sun.
Yeah. He had 141 hit points. So I was like, if it's early on, might I be able to leverage jumping down?
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is also interesting. Like, you don't frequently think about wanting to, like, if you don't have any provisions like Misty Step or anything like that, or Featherfall, about wanting to jump off. But with all that health, you're like, I could, if need be, just jump off.
Yeah, and especially like with the barbarian and a lot of the martial classes. I know monks, they have a feature where they can like have their damage from a fall, or like reduce it in some amount. But yeah, it's like cool. Like when you can have with that extra HP that you have is like a resource to like get somewhere, like make a decision, make a turning point moment.
Totally.
Yeah.
What did you all think about the monsters in this one? We talked a little bit about the harpies, but we also had the Birdmage Byzanthrop and the air elemental and the Peryton that was covered.
I liked the Peryton. I think it was cool, like the grapple effect. I was expecting a bit more of that, trying that to like be lifted off and thrown off the cliff. So I definitely think there's maybe more that could be like that. They could be utilized more in that way.
Sure.
And then I know we sort of aced the mage right away.
Y'all got him quick.
I was like, oh, we got to get to him. And yeah, I realized there might have been more stuff that he could have done to really throw us off. And then the other thing I was thinking is I was wondering if there was going to be environmental stuff like an avalanche or rocks tumbling or like something else to like keep pushing us towards the edge of the cliff.
So that was the role that the Birdmage was going to fulfill.
Okay.
He was supposed to be kind of like the battlefield control.
Yeah.
Where it's like making it so that you can't walk off leave the cliff's edge. But I mean, that's like obviously like great tactics is always like target like the spellcaster because they're squishy.
Yeah.
And you got to get rid of the air elemental in one fell swoop with that as well.
Yeah. Which I assumed the air elemental had stuff to with that.
Yeah.
It was super strong.
So the air elemental, it has a feature called its whirlwind. It recharges on a 4, 5, or 6. But creatures in its space must make a DC 13 strength saving throw. Or get flung up to 20 feet away from the elemental in a random direction.
Oh.
So that would have... This was supposed to be my guy to kind of try and keep you guys like
throwing us towards
pushing you all.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was really interesting going through the monster manual and trying to find creatures that like thematically like fit into this kind of encounter the way I'm trying to build it.
Yeah.
But at the same time have effects that can push people or cause people to move, and there aren't a lot of monsters that are like that. There also aren't a lot of spells that like move an unwilling creature a certain amount of feet. So it was very almost challenging to build this encounter in a way that felt like kind of natural. Like I totally hear what you're saying on the birds like picking you up and trying to throw you down. I referenced this great website, The Monsters Know What They're Doing.
Yes,
which is a really great resource to check out before you run any monster. Odds are that the dude's written up about it before. But in that sense, it was like with these birds of prey type characters, it's like just try to get one person down and then fly off and like boom, you got your dinner.
Right.
And what's amazing is that a level 1 harpy essentially caused a level 8 Drogo to die.
Super low, but yeah, they got that charm and it worked.
And it was only a decent
on my save, and yeah, it was epic.
That's an interesting way to make harpies more dangerous too, is put them in a cliff setting, because otherwise it's like just kind of annoying.
Yeah, because if you're fighting harpies in like a 20 by 20 like flat box, like it's gonna move towards you, but not much.
Yeah,
but there is a great interplay between like these creatures and the environments that like they would seek out, right? Like I'm imagining that this like cluster of harpies like is in some way like aligned with the Birdmage. At the very least, knowing if we help out the Birdmage, we'll get some food down the line.
Yeah.
Totally. But yeah, it's like where are these creatures gonna like have the strongest position to like for their success, right? Because that's what you gotta think about. Like the harpy doesn't want to die, the Peryton doesn't want to die. You gotta like lean into that, I think, and that's what really makes for some dynamic combat.
Yeah. I mean, it was, and it's cool to see. I mean, that's what I love about this is we get to peek behind the curtain at like, oh, I was planning for the mage to do this, and all these things that didn't necessarily play a factor. Though I will say the mage definitely took out all my AC or all my HP, so that definitely helped with.
Yeah, that ice storm was nice.
Yeah,
that really took a big chunk out of me. So I was
took a big chunk out of himself too.
Yeah. Wow.
Yes, he definitely did.
Yeah, so it was definitely. It's just interesting to see. It's always fun to talk about like the different ways that you have planned for things to go, and then the way that it does go. And
I mean, because y'all got like great initiative off the top too, so I mean, it made the most sense just like fucking lay in on the named character here.
Right.
Yeah.
I thought that I didn't think that we were gonna take down the mage that quickly, and so I thought the elemental. I was like ready to fight that elemental. I was like, yes, I have a magic weapon like for this purpose. I'm so excited. And then and I didn't even think about the fact that the elemental could also potentially throw me off the cliff.
Yeah. And if you hadn't succeeded on that saving throw, you would have gone flying, dude.
Whoa.
Yeah.
But then that was so early on that if I went over the cliff, I might have still survived.
Oh, absolutely.
And then the battle could have been split.
And then you would have just been hanging out down.
Yeah, just hi. Okay. Yeah, I guess I'm here now.
Yeah.
Was there anything that maybe like stuck out, or like it's something that if you were running this or if you were experiencing this a second time around, that is like something that really like you'd like to see more of?
Yeah, I think it would have been fun to have some sort of environmental aspect, whether it be like an avalanche or even like thematically or in the narrative, like you said, it's very icy. So I was wondering if we were going to have difficult terrain or if like moving away from the cliff was difficult terrain, but moving towards the cliff wasn't, or something like that. I wasn't sure if that was something you were playing with, but I think that could add like a level of danger. Obviously, it was pretty dangerous enough as it was, but that could be another fun way to add an aspect to it, to like have like a physical thing that's always sort of pushing you towards the edge of the cliff that you have to fight.
I love that.
Yeah, or even like I'm picturing ice. Like if you don't move away from the cliff, you will slide closer to it. Something like that.
Yeah,
and it's like a constant thing that you're fighting. But I thought that was really fun, and I really liked. Yeah, I mean that was really exciting.
Hell yeah.
When you had brought up the ice, for some reason, I was wondering if there was going to be like a homebrew-y aspect to it. Like, because kind of similar to what Michael was saying, except like also if you move in, if you use like all of your movement in one go, then you end up sliding way past your target.
Yeah.
Like I think that would also be interesting because also like you could accidentally slide off the cliff.
Yeah.
That way too.
Yeah.
But also that's very homebrewy, so it's like if you're willing to incorporate that, if
No,
you're
I
like,
like that.
nah.
I've heard that. I think I've played where you can use it's all your movement, but then you have to make a dex save, or you count it as difficult terrain, so you only have half movement. So you can kind of choose like, do I want to be careful and only use half movement, or should I use all my movement and then have to make a dex save? Like that sort of stuff, I think is fun. Where it just makes the math of the chess game a little more interesting.
Yeah.
And I think that's one thing that can be really great. Like, I mean, I know in this encounter, we're really looking at like throwing your players off and kind of like the danger of falling. Yeah. The fear of falling, if you will.
Yeah.
I think that's a play. But yeah, I think there's like a lot of really great how can you keep your players like on that knife's edge of like so they are constantly reminded of that danger. I feel like environmental additions are a really great way to do that. Yeah, we'll have to do an episode on an environmental like encounter.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
That'd be really
But I did appreciate all of the different like units that you had on the board. It definitely made it like, okay, I'm worrying about this thing could do that thing could do this, like trying to figure out what is the most like dangerous thing.
Yeah, there wasn't.
And then it's the level 1 harpy that gets you.
Yeah, for
real. Right. Like, I agree. Like the variety of things going on, you really had to like weigh your decisions more than you normally would if it's like, oh, it's a swarm of kobolds.
Right.
They're scratching you or whatever. But yeah, so that was, you were talking about how, an environmental thing might help to keep players on that knife's edge, but I think you already kind of did that with like how many things were happening at once. Yeah. So yeah.
Thank you. All right. Well done. I appreciate it. So I guess this brings us to the last part of our podcast here where we get the evaluation from the players. Loot it, as in you want to see this in your games more, or boot it. Get it out of here. It does not belong on the D&D table. So what do y'all think? Loot it or boot it?
I say loot it.
That's a loot it from me.
Oh, the fear of falling, it just adds like another thing other than like, ooh, I could get hit and then die. Yeah. Or if I get hit enough, but it's like, oh, I gotta not get hit and not go over the edge. Yeah. I think it just adds another like challenge.
And you also can like compound it too, like if you go off the cliffside, there's lava. If you go off the cliffside, there's spikes at the bottom.
Right.
Like there's
some different things.
Yeah, like already fucking pool of acid. Coolest thing in the world.
Yeah. Very cool.
Awesome. So you heard it here first, folks. Dungeon Busters. Throwing your players off a cliff. Go ahead and loot that ish. Put it in your game. Have some fun with it. Kelsey, is there anything you'd like to plug here at the end of the show?
Not much. If you're interested in hearing my thoughts about random stuff, my Twitter account is at melatonin, but with a K. And I like to sleep. And that's it.
Yes.
All right, wonderful. Thank you all for joining us here in the Dungeon Busters Lab, and thank you, Kelsey, for being part of our first TPK at Dungeon Busters here. All right, catch y'all next time.